चाम्पेय कुसुम प्रिया कुशला कोमलाकारा कुरुकुल्ला कुलेश्वरी कुलकुण्डालया कौलमार्ग तत्पर सेविता कुमार गणनाथंबा तुष्टिर्पुष्टिर्मतिर्ज्युतिः शान्तिर्स्वस्तिर्मतिर्कान्तिर्नन्दिनी विघ्ननाशिनी तेजोवती त्रिनयना लोलाक्षी कामरूपिणी मालिनी हंसिनी माता मलयाचल निवासिनी सुमुखी नलिनी शुभ्रौ शोभना सुरनायिका कालकांति कांतिमती शोभिनी सूक्ष्म रूपिणी वज्रेश्वरी वामदेवी वयोवस्था विवर्जिता सिद्धेश्वरी सिद्ध विद्या सिद्ध माता यशस्विनी विशुद्धि चक्र निलया रक्तवर्णा त्रिलोचना कद्वांगादि प्रहरणा वदनैक समन्विता पायसान प्रिया त्वस्ता पशुलोक भयंकरी अमृतादि महाशक्तिर्समृता दाकिनीश्वरी अनाज्ञाब्ज निलया ध्यामा वदनद्वया रंशोज्वला क्षमालादि धरा रुतिर संस्थिता कालरात्राति सत्यौकवृता सद्गौदन प्रिया महावीरेन्द्र वरदा राकिण्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी मणिपूराब्ज निलया वदनत्रय संयुता वज्रादिकायुतोर्पेता दामर्यादिभिरावृता रक्तवर्णामं सनिष्ठा गूढान प्रीतमानसा समस्त भक्त सुखदा राकिण्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी स्वादिष्ठानाम्बुजगता चतुर्वक्त्र मनोहरा स्थूलाद्यायुत संपन्ना पीतवर्णादिगर्विता मेधो निष्ठा मधुन्प्रीता बन्दिन्यादि समन्विता दद्दिन्यासक्तकृता काकिनी रूपधारिणी मूलाधाराम्बुजारूढा पञ्चवक्त्रादि संस्थिता अंकुशादि प्रहरणा वरदादि निषेविता मुद्गौदना सत्तचित्ता साकिन्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी आज्ञा चक्राब्ज निलया शुक्लवर्णा षडानना हंसवक्ति हरिद्रानैक रसिका हांकिनी रूपधारिणी सहस्रदल पद्मस्था सर्ववर्णोपशोभिता सर्वायुधरा शुक्ल संस्थिता सर्वतोमुखी सर्वोदन प्रीत चित्ता याकिन्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी स्वाहा स्वातामतेर्मेधा श्रुति स्मृतिरनुत्तमा पुण्यकीर्तिर्पुण्यलभ्या पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तना पुलोमजार्चिता बन्ध मोचनी प्रशमनी सर्वमृत्युनिवारिणी अग्रगण्या चिन्त्यरूपा कलिकल्मषनाशिनी कात्यायनी कालहन्त्री कमलाशनिषेविता ताम्बूमुखी मृदानी मित्ररूपिणी नृत्यतृप्ता भक्तिनियन्त्री निखिलेश्वरी मैत्रा द्विवासना साक्षिणी पराशक्तिर्परानिष्ठा प्रज्ञान गणरूपिणी माध्वीपानालसा माता मातृका वर्णरूपिणी महाविलास निलया मृणाल मृदुदोर्लता महनीय दयामूर्तिर्महासाम्राज्यविहारिणी आत्मविद्या महाविद्या श्रीविद्या कामसेविता श्री षोडशाक्षरी विद्या त्रिकूटा कामकोटिका कटाक्ष किंकरी भूता कमला कोटि सेविता शिरस्थिरा चंद्रनिभा फालस्तेन्दुदन प्रभा हृदयस्था रवि प्रख्यां त्रिकोणांतर दीपिका दाक्षायणी दैत्यहंत्री दक्ष यज्ञ विनाशिनी दरांदोलित दीप्ताक्षी दरहासोज्वलन्मुखी गुरुमूर्तिर्गुणनिधिर् गोमाता गुहजन्मभूः देवेशी दंड निष्ठिता दहराकाशरूपिणी प्रतिपन्मुख्य कांतार्धा तिथि मंडल पूजिता कलात्मिका कलानाथा काव्यालाप विनोदिनी सचारमरमावाणी सव्य दक्षिण सेविता आदिशक्ति रमेयात्मा परमा पावनाकृतिः अनेक कोटि ब्रह्मांड जननी दिव्य विग्रहा क्लींकारी केवला गुह्या कैवल्य पददायिनी त्रिपुरा त्रिजगद्वन्द्या त्रिमूर्ति त्रयदेश्वरी त्रयक्षरी दिव्य गंधाढ्या सिंधूरा तिलकांचिता उमा शैलेन्द्र तनया गौरी गंधर्व सेविता विश्वगर्भा स्वर्णगर्भा वरदा वागदीश्वरी ज्ञानगम्या परिचेद्या ज्ञानदा ज्ञान विग्रहा सर्व वेदांत संवेद्या सत्यानंद स्वरूपिणी लोपा मुद्राचिता लीला क्लिप्ता ब्रह्मांड मंडला अदृश्या दृश्य रहिता विज्ञात्री वेद वर्जिता योगिनी योगदा योगा योगानंदा युगंतरा इच्छा शक्तिर ज्ञान शक्तिर क्रिया शक्तिर स्वरूपिणी सर्वाधारा सुप्रतिष्ठा सदशत्रूपधारिणी अष्टमूर्तिरजा जैत्री लोकयात्रा विदायिनी एकांकिनी भूमरूपा निर्द्वैता द्वैतवर्जिता अन्नदा वसुधा मूर्ता ब्रह्मात्मैक स्वरूपिणी बृहती ब्राह्मिणी ब्राह्मी ब्रह्मानंदा बलिप्रिया भाषा रूपा बृहत्सेना भावा भाव विवर्जिता सुखराड्या सुखकरी शोभना सुलभागतिः राजराजेश्वरी राज्यदायिनी राज्यवल्लभा राजत्कृपा राजपीठ निवेशिता निजाश्रिता राजलक्ष्मी कोशनाथा चतुरंगबलेश्वरी साम्राज्यदायिनी सत्यसन्ता सागरमेखला दीक्षिता दैत्य समनी सर्वलोकवशंकरी सर्वार्थदात्री सावित्री सच्चिदानंद रूपिणी देशकाला परिचिन्ना सर्वग सर्वमोहिनी सरस्वती शास्त्रमयी गुहांबा गुह्य रूपिणी सर्वोपाधिर्विनिर्मुक्ता सदा शिवपतिव्रता संप्रदायेश्वरी साध्वी गुरुमंडल रूपिणी कुलोतीर्णा बगाराड्या माया मतुमहीमही गणांबा गुह्यकाराड्या कोमलांगी गुरुप्रिया स्वतंत्रा सर्वतंत्रेशी दक्षिणामूर्ति रूपिणी सनकादि समाराड्या शिवज्ञान प्रदायिनी चित्कलानंद कलिका प्रेम रूपा प्रियंकरी नाम पारायण प्रीता नंदी विद्या नटेश्वरी विद्या जगदधिष्ठाना मुक्तिदा मुक्ति रूपिणी लास्य प्रिया लयंकरी लज्जा रंबादिवंदिता भवदाव सुधा विष्टिर पापारण्यदवानला दौर्भाग्यतूलवादूला जराद्वांता रविप्रभा भाग्याब्दी चंद्रिका भक्त चित्त केकनिगणा गणा रोग पार्वत दाम्बोले मृत्यु दारुकुटारिका महेश्वरी महाकाली महाग्रासा महासना अपर्णा चंडिका चंड मुंडा सुरनिशोधिनी क्षराक्षरात्मिका सर्वलोकेशी विश्वधारिणी त्रिवग्रदात्री सुभगा त्रयंबका त्रिगुणात्मिका स्वर्गा भगवद्गदा शुक्ता जपा पुष्प निभाकृतिः ओजोवती द्युतिधरा यज्ञ रूपा प्रियाव्रता दुराराड्या दुरादर्शा पाटली कुसुम प्रिया महती मेरु निलया मंदार कुसुम प्रिया विराराड्या विराट रूपा विरजा विश्वतोमुखी प्रत्यग्रूपा पराकाशा प्राणदा प्राण रूपिणी मार्तांड भैरवाराड्या मंत्रिनी रस्य राजदूः त्रिपुरेशी जयसेना निश्चय गुण्य परात्परा सत्य ज्ञानानंद रूपा सामरस्य परायणा कपर्दिनी कलामाला काम दुःखाम रूपिणी कलानिधि काव्य कला रस ज्ञा रस सेवती पुष्टा पुरादना पूज्या पुष्करा पुष्करेक्षणा परंज्योति परंदामा परमाणु परात्परा पासहस्ता पासहंत्री परमंत्र विभेदिनी मूर्ता अमृता नृत्य तृप्ता मुनिमानस हंसिका सत्यव्रता सत्यरूपा सर्वांतर्यामिनी सती ब्रह्माणी ब्रह्मजननी बहुरूपा बुधार्चिता प्रचड्डाका प्रतिष्ठा प्रकटाकृतिः प्राणेश्वरी प्राणदात्री पंचाशत्पीठ रूपिणी विशृंखला विविक्तस्था वीरमाता वियत्प्रसूः मुकुंदा मुक्ति निलया मूल विग्रह रूपिणी भवज्ञा भवरोगग्नि भवचक्र प्रवर्तिनी चंद्रसारा शस्त्रसारा मंत्रसारा तलोदरी उद्धार कीर्तिरुद्धामा वैभवा वर्ण रूपिणी जन्म मृत्यु जरा तप्त जन विश्रांतिदायिनी सर्वोपनिषदद्गुष्टा शान्त्यतीता कलात्मिका गंभीरा गगनान्तस्था गर्विता गानलोलुपा कल्पनारहिता कास्ता कांता कांतार्ध विग्रहा कार्य कारण निर्मुक्ता कामकेली तरंगिता कनक कनकताटंका लीला विग्रहधारिणी अजक्षय विनिर्मुक्ता मुक्ता क्षिप्र प्रसादिनी अंतर्मुख समाराढ्या बहिर्मुख सुदुर्लभा त्रयी त्रिवग्न निलया त्रिष्टा त्रिपुरमालिनी निरामया निरालंबा स्वात्मा रामा सुता श्रुतिः संसार पंक निर्मग्न समुद्धरण पंडिता यज्ञ प्रिया यज्ञकर्ती यजमान स्वरूपिणी धर्मादाराधनाध्यक्षा धन धान्य विवर्धिनी विप्रप्रिया विप्ररूपा विश्वभ्रमरकारिणी विश्वग्रासा विद्रुमाभा वैष्णवी विष्णुरूपिणी अयो निर्योनि निलया कूटस्था कुलरूपिणी वीरगोष्ठी प्रिया वीर्या नैष्कर्म्यानाद रूपिणी विज्ञाद कलना कल्या विगद्धा वैन्दवासना तत्वादिका तत्वमयी तत्वमर्थ स्वरूपिणी सामगान प्रिया सौम्या सदा शिव कुटुंबिनी सव्याप सव्य मार्गस्था सर्वापाद्वि निवारिणी स्वस्था स्वभाव मधुरा धीरा धीर समर्चिता चैतन्य कमराढ्या चैतन्य कुसुम प्रिया सदोदिता सदा तुष्टा तरुणातीत पाटला दक्षिणा दक्षिणाराढ्या दरस्वेन मुखाम्बुजा कौलिनी केवलानार्या कैवल्य पददायिनी स्तोत्र प्रिया श्रुतिमती श्रुति संस्कृत वैभवा मनस्विनी मानवती महेशी मंगलाकृतिः विश्वमाता जगद्रात्री विशालाक्षी विरागिनी प्रगल्भा परमोदारा परामोदा मनोन्मणि व्योमकेशी विमानस्था वज्रिणी वामकेश्वरी पंचयज्ञ प्रिया पंचप्रेत मंचातिसायिनी पंचमी पंचभूतेशी पंचसंख्योपचारिणी शाश्वती शाश्वतैश्वर्या शर्मदा शंभुमोहिनी धराधर सुताधन्या धर्मिणी धर्मवर्धिनी लोकातीता गुणातीता सर्वातीता समात्मिका बंधुक कुसुम प्राख्या बाला लीला विनोदिनी सुमंगली सुखकरी सुवेशाढ्या सुवासिनी सुवासिन्यार्चन प्रीता शोभना शुद्ध मानसा बिंदु तर्पण संतुष्टा पूर्वजा त्रिपुरांबिका दशमुद्र समाराढ्या त्रिपुरा शिव शंकरी ज्ञान मुद्रा ज्ञान गम्या ज्ञान ज्ञेन स्वरूपिणी योनि मुद्रा त्रिकंडेशी त्रिगुणांबा त्रिकोणगा अनगाद्भुत चारित्रा वांछितार्थ प्रदायिनी आभ्या शक्तिशयध्यात्वा शतद्वातीत रूपिणी अव्याज करुणामूर्तिर् अज्ञानद्वान्त दीपिका आबाल गोप विविधा सर्वानुल्लंघ्य शासनम श्री चक्रराज निलया श्रीमत् त्रिपुर सुंदरी श्री शिवा शिव शक्त्यैक रूपिणी ललितांबिका एवं श्री ललितां देव्यां नाम्नां सहस्रकुंजगुः इति श्री ब्रह्मांड पुराणे उत्तरकांडे श्री हयग्रीव अगस्त्य संवादे श्री ललिता सहस्रनाम स्तोत्रं संपूर्णम्।
शिवाय ओम नमः 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 शिवाय
I request those who are a little behind so that they will not disturb us. Yeah? Don't put it on silent, not on vibration. Switch it off. Please sit straight. Close your eyes.
Om
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव त्र्यम्बकं यजन्दनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। A proper initiation into a mantra is not only learning how to chant the mantra properly, but also understanding the deeper levels of the mantra. We have seen what is it in life that we are seeking, and moment to moment we have to face the challenges of meeting or encountering, managing change. Our constant fear of change, anxiety, worry, stress, and fear of death. Only when we overcome it that really we can be productive and live our life. In the fear of death, most people do not even live their life. Only to secure ourselves, whole life goes in earning money, and people spoil their health. And the irony is, spend all their money to regain their health, and life ends. How do we overcome this change, this finitude, this limitation is taught in the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra. We have seen also what is a mantra, that it is vibration, and when our mind become in tune with the mantra, then the potential that lies in it, the power that lies in it, the deity that yields that power manifests himself or herself. We've also seen that how this one word Trayambakam, the one with three eyes, reveals to us not only the Sagun nature of Bhagwan, who is one with a clear eye of discrimination, of compassion, and of wisdom. We have also seen that it also indicates to us the true nature of the Lord without attributes. And the Lord of the three world means the Lord of the three states, waking, dream, and deep sleep states. And therefore, Trayambaka means that pure consciousness, which is the truth, the unnegated reality in the three states of our waking, dream, and deep sleep state. All its implication we have heard yesterday, and therefore it is this Lord with the three eyes we meditate upon. And also Lord Shiva himself is considered to be the greatest meditator. Therefore we always see him in the meditation pose, who has already recognized that this body is one day going to be ashes. And such a fearless meditator sits in his seat of meditation absolutely steady, balanced in the pairs of opposites, because in life, if one side is the delightful crescent moon, on the other side, there is the ferocious snake. On one, there is the cooling Ganga. The other side, you have to take poisons in life also. A meditator is one who is steady in all these three states. Why? Because he sees life through the eyes, the third eye of wisdom. That these pairs of opposites will always exist, but it is because of our likes and dislikes that our mind gets disturbed and agitated. One who can remain steady in pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow, success and failure, such a person indeed is fit for meditation. And such a meditator, can you imagine if one pretty woman were to be around you, would you be able to meditate? Of course, on her. He's got two pretty women. Ganga taranga ramaniya jata kalapam Gauri nirantara vibhushita vamabhagam Narayana priyaman ananga madapaharam Varanasi purapatim bhaja vishwanatham. That Lord Shiva, with two pretty women, one sitting on his head. You have only one sitting on your head. And one beside him. And yet, he is the conqueror of Ananga, that is lust, Kamadev. And therefore, ever peaceful in this 9-gate city of the body. Varanasi Purapatim. That Lord of the three bodies. The gross, subtle and causal. That Tripurari, the one who is the destroyer of the three worlds, in which this ego resides, going through its life of joy and suffering, and most of the time creating havoc. Therefore, he is also called as Tripurari. All this is the implication of this one word, Trayambakam. And when we recognize even the Sagun aspect of Bhagwan as the wise, the powerful, the compassionate, and we surrender to such a Lord, we have got nothing to worry. Not even death we have to worry, because he is the very Lord of immortality. And with that Shraddha and Bhakti, when we meditate on the nature of the Lord, then we discover that that consciousness which pervades all the three states, which is present in all the three states, that consciousness is Shiva. And that Shiva is me. Shivoham, Shivoham. This one word, Trayambakam, all this is actually revealed. The next word in the mantra is Yajamahe. This word Yajamahe, we or I worship. Yaj means to worship. Yaj means to adore. Yaj means to sacrifice. And we this act of worship is that we invoke the Lord in the purest of all elements, which is visible to us, fire. And in that fire we make our offerings with certain sankalpa, certain prayers, certain chants. And this is what we understand as yajna, which in our Puranic times, Sri Ved Vyasa, knowing that fire was not easy and we were not out in nature, transformed that very yajna into puja. And both yajna and puja, what do they really mean? So when it says Trayambakam Yajamahe, I worship, and you worship whom? Yeah? Your dog? These days you might. Yeah. Everything that you're supposed to do for God and you have no time is done for the dog. Asanam samarpayami. Adhyam samarpayami, argyam samarpayami, achamaniyam samarpayami, naivedyam, also snaniyam, manicuram, pedicuram, yeah? Haircut samarpayami, everything you do, no? You worship the person whom you adore. You love people, but you worship those people whom you love and revere. This mighty Lord is all worshipable, adorable, all powerful, all knowing, all loving. And who else is worth worshipping? So we worship the one whom we adore. And who in this world do we adore? Someone who is very powerful, very knowledgeable, we might respect them. But someone who is not only all powerful, compassionate, loving, kind, but one who is constantly giving to you. In this world also, somebody just gives you a little promotion or a job or a little praise also. You begin to love them, is it not? So who is the most adorable? Is it not that lover of the universe? The creator of the universe, from whom we have received everything in our life. Means to adore, to praise. Now you'll say, Acha, so even Lord wants praise. Lord doesn't want our praise, nor our honor and worship. But when we adore and praise someone, we recognize that person's greatness, mightiness, and also acknowledge what we have received from that one. Such people only we adore, is it not? Our parents, grandparents, some of our teachers. And until and unless we acknowledge what we have received, which means we value what we have received, we don't take it for granted, then only really speaking you can think. Then definitely, even though you have it, it is not as useful to you. It doesn't give you that amount of joy. And therefore, adoration comes when there is a sense of gratitude. See how the meaning is derived, and then you will understand that how Sri Krishna explained this word yajna. Others say, Yajamahe, I adore the one with three eyes, I meditate upon the one with three eyes, I worship the one with three eyes. And very often when you chant, you don't even worship. So I must do yajna, then only it will be effective. We acknowledge what we have received only when we have got gratitude in our heart. And you're grateful for something that you would have not achieved on your own, but you would have got from someone which is so rare. The more grateful you will be. And one whom you are grateful for, you adore, you praise. And what is love and adoration? If you are not ready to express it in giving something. We have received so much, and yet we just say, oh, thank you. Thank you is the cheapest word. I love you is the cheapest words. Anybody can use it, and they may not even mean it. How does really a thank you express itself? When you are ready to give. Now, what can we give to our parents? What can we give to our teachers? What can we give to our gurus? We can in no way pay back to them what we have received from them. Yet on Mother's Day, what do? Father's Day, what do? From your parents only you get the money. And you get a lot, your education, your food, your clothing, everything, and a little bit of pocket money also you get. And from that pocket money, you go and buy a card, which means from their money only. And generally these days, nothing else, at least buy a card. And nowadays, you don't even have to buy a card. So you make a card and you go and give it to mommy. Mommy, you're the bestest mommy, only for that day. And yet mommy gets so thrilled that you say, okay, take it. Mommy gets so thrilled. What is yajna? Universe from various beings of the universe. And all have received it from the one creator and is constantly receiving. And this cycle of receiving and sharing is going on in the universe. The plants receive sunlight, they give oxygen to the world. Whatever they receive, if the bee takes a wee bit of nectar, it also pollinates the flower. You see, the whole universe works in this spirit of sharing. But when we develop this ego, that I am the doer, and whatever I got out of my own actions. I produced it, I built it, I purchased, a business, and I developed a business. When we start developing this ego, then naturally, I did it, everything is for me. And we get attached to our achievements, our possessions, and become greedy. And attachment means dependence. We start depending on it. First we think that we produced it. Now it rules our life. This is how our ego, and the larger our ego becomes, the smaller our heart becomes. And therefore we become more and more individualistic, closed upon ourselves only. This limiting ego is told that you must worship the Lord. Worship the Lord, which means first and foremost is acknowledge that whatever I have received or whatever I have, nothing I have done on my own. Now when we listen to all this, we might nod our head, but we must do some sadhana. We must practice it. Anything that you hold on, think it is mine, and anything that you are proud of, that you think you have achieved, consider this as a workshop, a sadhana retreat. When you go home tonight itself, write down on the top, what is it that you are proud of and you think that you have achieved it. On one column, you write what all you did to achieve it. And on the other column, write down who else or what else. There's one person who did this exercise and he was a singer. On one side, I tried to write what I did. And I said, I practiced, I pursued music. But when I wrote on the other side, that if my parents did not push me to go to a music class, I did not have a God-given voice. Because as well as you can train a donkey cannot sing musical. No? Rated your singer. How patient that teacher who knows. See, those who don't know music also don't like bad singing. But those who know music and they have to hear, like our Guruji, I tell you, you can see him getting so irritated, but he is so much in control of it. They call him, Swamiji, come early. 1 hour early. We have prepared bhajans for you and you'll be sitting there. Ooh. It's like, scratching on the blackboard. How many people the teacher must have had to tolerate that singing? People who to encourage you must have had to give you awards when you did not even sing very well. He said that list was just fell when I realized that I had so many people to be grateful for. Generation of ungrateful people. Because one man's effort, or one woman's effort, in you is because many, and so many have put effort, you might be great. By the sacrifices, the sharing of many. And really speaking, all prayer, all worship is not a favor that we are doing on God. He has given you designer clothes and handbags. Very often you see how you clothe the Lord in your house. Just take a piece of cloth, cut the center, put it. The cheapest, stinking, allergic-causing agarbatti. While you will put what? Chanel. Dior. What do we really offer? But for the Lord, what matters is patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Even out of His garden you plucked one flower, but you brought with gratitude. Why does the mother or the father on Mother's Day and Father's Day feel so happy that you brought them one awful looking card? The fact that you acknowledge their love, not for themselves. Because when you acknowledge it, you know how blessed, how treasured, how loved you are. Is it a surprise? Is it a surprise that today in this world, when people have become so egotistic, so ungrateful, that they are always so depressed, dejected, miserable? Everybody must maintain a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 5 things that you can be grateful for. And you will realize that that list is endless. Each day you will find 5 new things that you have got all your life but you never recognized. Then how can you feel that you are not loved? How can you feel that there is no hope? How can you feel that you have nothing? This gratitude, when it comes in our heart, not only makes us humble, makes us acknowledge all that we have received, and makes us adore the one from whom we have received it all. And when our mind turns to the greatness of the Lord, our ego becomes insignificant compared to that. What have we done? Who are we compared to that? And when that ego itself is sacrificed, offered, that is the greatest sacrifice. That is the greatest yajna. And this spirit that or someone sitting up in heaven, as we'll see in the following words, that Lord who is present everywhere in everyone, the whole universe is His form, that Lord, therefore we understand the service of the people is the service of the Lord of Lords. And when we acknowledge that we have received so much from the Lord through the universe, we may say we got fertility from the earth to everyone, to give to you. Guru Nanak Sahib says very beautifully, Sabna jiya ka ik data so main visar na jai. Gurai ka deh bujai. My Guru has taught me one lesson which I hold dear to my heart, that the giver of the universe is one, and may I never forget that. Only someone, and they keep on sending these. That's why I don't give my number. Now don't ask me. Yeah? Because then they keep on forwarding. But sometimes you get the nice forward. And you must have also received it because everybody keeps receiving the same forwards. Yeah? But there's now a program that comes of small people doing small, great things. And what a difference it makes. So yesterday one came that there's this modern young girl, talking away to her mom, actually shouting back at her mom, "Mom, I have to catch a rickshaw, and you know these rickshaw people, how they keep on charging." And meanwhile she's stopping her rickshaw. The rickshaw doesn't want to stop because they see her and they go away, And then she finally stands in front of a rickshaw, and the rickshaw guy, she asks, "How much are you going to charge?" He says, "100. Come on, it's only 50. The rickshaw guy goes away, Another rickshaw guy comes, stops, and says, "Sister, get into the car." Yeah. So while she's busy on the phone, and finally she got a rickshaw, and she's telling in the rickshaw also to mother, these days they just keep on charging a lot. I know this person also going to charge a lot. And then she suddenly realized there's no meter in this rickshaw, the three-wheeler. So she starts screaming and shouting at him, "You don't even have a meter. Now you're going to charge me a lot more." In most of the meters we travel also, the meter doesn't work only. So it is random. Any price is charged. She's going to go to a restaurant a few miles away to spend thousands of rupees with her friends, and the rickshaw driver, the whole heat is driving. He doesn't deserve any money, but she's screaming and shouting at him. And I know you're going to charge me this and that, I'm not going to give you more than 50. He says, "Madam, you can give whatever you want. Let me peacefully take you to your destination." And he takes her to the destination. She says, "Now how much?" He just gives her one box. First he says, "It is free for you." So she turns around and says, "Free for me?" He says, "Yes." "How can you give free?" And she's going, so it's not like he's going to get anything out of her. He says, because the last passenger paid for you. She said, who's that last passenger? He says, I didn't know him or her. She or he did not know you. So he's already paid for you. Now whatever you want to pay for the next passenger, whom I can take free of charge, you can put in this love box. I'm not going to charge you. This is for the next passenger. She said, but why, what are you doing? He said, once I took a blind person who could not afford. And he just told me, a blind person said, keep smiling like this. Because the joy that you get when you share. He says, all I want from you is the next person you meet, give a smile. How conjuice people are to give a smile also. Yeah. Miserly. And we won't smile till the other person doesn't give a smile. So see what comes from whom we have love expresses itself in yajna. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita really points out, Saha yajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishadvam eshavo tvishta kamaduk. With this spirit of sharing, yajna, sacrifice, and the word sacrifice today we don't like because it's totally associated with marriage. And the word sacrifice is used for compromise. It is not a sacrifice. The word sacrifice we should remove. It is a gratitude, it's a dedication. It's a spirit of mutual sharing, as Gurudev calls it, cooperative effort in which people bring whatever they produce to a common altar of worship, gratitude, dedication. And then whatever remains behind, Bhagwan only takes the bhav. The Naivedyam gets left behind. At least in the fire, some get burnt. That also, at least you get the pure ashes. But share it with everyone. And the joy of sharing. That's why we like prasad so much. We enjoy prasad so much. If this spirit is there moment to moment in our life, as Sri Krishna points out in the Bhagavad Gita, that is along with the spirit of sharing that Bhagwan created the entire universe. The sun sacrifices its heat itself to provide heat. The heat falls on water, the water sacrifices itself to become water vapor. The clouds travel distances and they burst to shower rain. The earth turns, tears open her breast for plants to sprout. And all the trees, they give the fruits for whom? Themselves. Shade for whom? Bear the sun, but give the shade to whom? This way the whole cosmos is working. Unfortunately, it is only the crown of creation who can become a thief. When you take something without returning, such a person is a thief, as Krishna points out in the Gita. And it is with this spirit of yajna the entire universe was created. In fact, the Creator sacrificed himself to become the universe. And the whole universe is functioning, working, and is sustained only because of this spirit of sharing. producing more than what you consume and giving more than what you take. And human beings can be so productive at the same time so destructive. In just 50 years, we have depleted the resources of the world that took hundreds of millions of years to produce. Just 50 years. And if we don't live in the spirit of yajna, the spirit of adoration, of gratitude, then another 50 years. Today we have to buy water. In another 20 years you might have to buy even the air that you breathe. This is, and sahayagya praja srishtva, having created this world out of the spirit of sharing, that Lord who gave in abundance also gave us this secret of life. And he says, may you prosper, may you flourish, may you even fulfill your desires. Let this be your wish-fulfilling cow, that Kamadhenu. And that's why sage Vashishta was telling Vishwamitra, this is not a physical cow that I can give it and donate it to you or offer to the king. It is that spirit of selfless service. And wherever people come together in that spirit of worship, sharing, acceptance, gratitude, that is called as yajna. And the result of any such endeavor is not only great prosperity, as Bhagwan points out, parasparam bhavayanta shreyam paramavapsyata. That in this manner, sharing with each other, may you not only attain great prosperity, not only fulfill all your desires. Who says you can't build yourself beautiful homes from trees, but at least plant trees? So that you can have more wood if you want. Otherwise, one day we will deplete the whole world. This is what is called the Vedic yajna. This is what means yajamahe. That I adore, I worship you. Now really speaking, in the mantra, what can you go and offer at that time? The greatest of, when that is offered to the Lord, then tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. Then what is? Saints of India have been great. That cultural heritage, whichever religions may have come and converted them, that cultural heritage remains the same. There is a well-known saint in India known as Rahim. He was not a very wealthy man, but indeed a rich man. And richness has nothing to do with your wealth. If you go and get those CDs on life management techniques, one of them is on wealth management. And if you want to be rich in mind and in life, richness has got nothing to do with how much wealth you have, because there are many wealthy people who are very, very poor. And there are many rich people who probably have got no wealth, like that rickshaw driver. Richness has got nothing to do with wealth. Richness is there when we acknowledge how much more we have out of gratitude. Wealth is not only our richness. Today you value in this country intellectual asset, is it not? soon we will begin to value also parenting as an asset, teaching as an asset. We are recognizing education as an asset. But that education which was got through proper teaching, that is our asset. With that we can reproduce a lot of wealth. Otherwise, everybody is ready to just worship. There also, how much we give, we are always conjuice. That's why we'll drop one coin and ask, oh Lord, give me 1,000,000. This is how we demand everything from the community, from the government, from the, from the nation. What have we done to contribute to that nation? What have we done to contribute to nature? The highest sense, where it says, Yajamahe, I adore you. All this meaning must come in that. And when you give just a little and find that there is so much greater joy in giving, then you begin to of that giver. Guru Nanak Sahib says, Denda de le de thak paye, juga jugantar khai khai. That one giver goes on giving. For eons everybody is receiving. Have you even wondered? That Lord of compassion is constantly going on giving, even when we do not acknowledge and we are not grateful for. How can we attain that greatness? When Yajamahi, when we are ready to offer. And what is the greatest offering that we can give? To give the Lord what He doesn't have, our ego, which we have in plenty, Bhagwan doesn't have. But I tell you, whatever may be the gift, it is finally what is most important is our remembrance. Gurudev once told us of this story. You know, hatred is not the opposite of love. Because generally whom you hate, you begin to love. Even Ravan started loving Ramchandraji. Somebody said, why you keep on calling him that tapasvi, that forest dweller? He's got a name, no? And normally when you want to just talk casually about someone, you call them straight by their name. He says, what to do if I say the name Ram itself, lust from my mind goes away. How will I hold on to Sita? Hatred is not the opposite of love. Indifference is. That's why many husbands do not realize what their wives keep on complaining about. You don't love me. It is not that whole life you are working to provide for the family. Today she is also doing it. It doesn't matter to her. And Gurudev told us one very beautiful. A man who had just married had to go abroad for a business conference and had booked himself to return on the night of his wedding anniversary. He was in transit in Frankfurt and he was looking out in that Frankfurt to buy his newlywed wife, 1 year anniversary, some gift. And those days, you know, when you went abroad, you could only carry $20 with you. Most of you have not come from that time, but some of you must have come. Only $20. You're going to a foreign country, only $20 foreign exchange. So he has gone for a business conference and then he goes to a shop and he looks around and there's this woman there And he says, how much is this one? How much is this one? How much is this one? And he's in a rush because he's in transit. There's a flight he has to catch. And if you've been to Frankfurt airport, oh God, the terminals itself is quite confusing. So he's in a rush and he's trying to find out. You know? Finally, that lady says, who do you want it for? He said, it's our first anniversary. It's for my wife. So she says, how much do you have? And he says, only $1. So she chooses a nice pin with a beautiful paper flower. And she says, I can sell you this for $1. He says, will she like it? He says, I'm sure. She says, I'm sure she'll love it. May I pack it for you? And she throws in a package with a nice ribbon and she gives it to him. Meanwhile, he dashes, thanking her, he dashes to the aircraft, barely catching the flight. And when he gets down from the aircraft and passes that long immigration line and the customs, and luckily the box is small, so they didn't open the box, and comes out and tells her, happy anniversary, darling. And he gives her the box. And when she opens it, if it was 20 years after marriage, a pin with a paper flower, that's all. But she's so touched. It is not the price of the gift. The fact that he remembered her. How often today I can't say husband, wife, all of you go to a restaurant for a family day. You are together but not with each other. How often you might be at home, but your wife keeps on saying, you're not here. Oh, but I'm here. It is not any action. The very essence of love is remembrance of the beloved. Therefore, yajamahe means remembrance. And therefore, which is the best way to remember someone? To remember the Lord and all that He has given us, all that His greatness is. Which is the best way? That technique, that yajna of remembrance is called as japa. And here in this context, when you're talking about a mantra, what does it really mean? Yajamahe means I remember, I constantly repeat. And you repeat to remember. And therefore, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, where he describes in the 10th chapter, amongst mountains, I can be seen and worshipped in the Himalayas. Amongst the reservoirs of water, I am the ocean. Amongst the sea creatures, I am the shark. No, causes awe, reverence, adoration. What grace. Amongst the animals, I am the lion. Amongst the river, I am Devasarita, Ganga. And he says, Yajnanam japa yagyosmi. Amongst all the forms of worship, adoration, sadhana, Bhagwan says, I am japa yajna. How simple Bhagwan has made the practice for us. Japa yagyosmi. I am this yagya of japa. Therefore, trayambakam yajamahe. I constantly remember, I constantly repeat. In my actions, when I do my actions out of gratitude, that is called as karma yoga or yagya. In the temple also, what I offer with gratitude, that is also called as yagya, and I share with others. But the greater yagya is when I see all the people as the living forms of the Lord, through which the Lord has blessed me with love, protection, abundance, and I share with them. That is called as yagya. Not that I am giving to the poor. The poor are far richer than any one of us. Whenever I have my youth, every year I have my youth camps, global youth camps at Coimbatore. Send your children sometimes. One is the teenage camp, which happens from 17th December to 24th December. And the other is for 18 and above youngsters, which happens from 24th December to 1st January. And then those who want, we take them for a cultural trip throughout India. But one of their visits is to our villages where our COD, Chinmaya Organization of Rural Development, works. And when they go there, they all think that they will take some gifts, they will take some of their old shoes, or they'll take some of their old things. I said, take nothing with you. Just go and spend time with them. You might teach them a little bit of language or drama or values. But when you return from there, you would be far richer in your learning, because you will know how these children, in the midst of all these difficulties, how do they keep up their smile, their laughter, their cheerfulness, their enthusiasm? Never give by thinking that you are giving to some poor people. That spirit of Shiva is called as yagya. Temples and Vedashalas are the way it is demonstrating and offering. This is customary in temples, gurdwaras, etc. That whatever little we can, we share, and little goes a long way. But in giving, we should be humble. Therefore, this sage Rahim I was talking to you about, he was not wealthy, but certainly very rich. In worldly standards, lived in a small little hut. But every day he would give to the people. Nobody went to his door and went empty-handed. Another saint of that time writes, and those days they used to write in poetries, the medieval times, writes to him, "Seekhe kaha nawab jo, deni aisi den, jo jo kar upar uthe, tyon tyon niche nain." He addresses Rahim, who is that way not a wealthy man. "Hey Nawab, you are king of kings. Where have you learned to give like this? That as your hands go up to give, your eyes go down with humility." You know? And I tell you, humility is a strange thing. The moment you think you've got it, you've lost it. No, you must give it humility. Yeah. I am your humble servant. By saying I am your humble servant, big ego. And what reply does Rahim send? He says, "Den har kahu aur hai, jo bejat din rain." The giver is someone else who keeps on pe kare taso niche den. Not out of humility, but out of credit for it. This is the spirit. Egocentric, selfish desires and egos come to an end. And this is what gives us the freedom from our likes, dislikes, selfishness, our limitations, which is called as purity of mind. Then only our mind is fit for knowledge. And you may do any form of elaborate worship, chanting, etc. Most of the chanting is others are recognizing, I can do chanting. Not for the Lord. Yeah. Have you seen even those bhajan singers? Yeah. How they pull their voice till everybody starts clapping. Is it for the Lord or is it for the clap? What are we? We can be even worshipping the Lord, but if our mind is not out of gratitude, you can offer jewels to the Lord, it matters nothing. But even patram pushpam phalam, yome bhaktya prayachati. One who gives me with love. And the essence of love is that whoever you love, you constantly remember. As mothers, can you forget your child? Ever? And tell me which mother has not done this most embarrassing act? Whenever you go to any party, such delicious food is spread out from them. Even that delicious food, because at home you never eat. The only place mothers eat is outside. Yeah. Finally, a spread of most delicious food is kept for them. And even there, each mother has not and wrapped it and put it in their Prada bags. And if anybody sees them, my son or my daughter likes it very much. Even there you will remember. And if remembrance is there, the greatest, every form of worship will happen. Therefore Bhagavan says, I am Japa Yoga. Which means I am found in remembrance. Kabir Das ji has said very beautifully, Moko kaha dhunde re bande, main to tere paas mein. Where are you searching for me? I am here with you. Yeah. And then he goes to describe, I am not in mandir, masjid, gurdwara. This doesn't mean we should not go to these places for worship. Yeah. But you can go there. I who am everywhere can be found here and now. But you will find me nowhere. Not even in tapa, not even in worships, not even prayers, not even in chants, not in yoga, not in family life, not even in sannyas. He says, Khoji hoye, turat mil jai ek pal ki talas mein. That if you search, you will be able to find in just one blink of an eye. Kahat Kabir sun. मैं तो हूं विश्वास. What is the secret of happiness? Today Harvard, they are also all Sukapava. The moment you remember someone, you are with that person. Physical distance does not matter at all. Dimensional distance does not matter at all. Richness and poverty does not matter at all. Greatness and minuteness does not matter at all. If only moment to moment we can remember the one with the three eyes, the one who is the Lord of the three states and the three worlds. And what is that Remembrance is the adoration. And what is adoration? That whoever we adore, besides wanting to offer everything to that, the greatest form of adoration, as Gurudev used to say, the greatest form of admiration, the greatest form of worship is that whom you worship, you adore, you become like that. You become like the one who is the three-eyed one. That when you walk, people say, here goes the devotee of the Lord, and you become a reminder of His greatness. Not that they say, Che, we don't want even to go there. Yeah. If these people go there, we don't want to go there. The greatest adoration we can, but radiating His bountiness, His or her grace, His or her greatness. That is called as Yajamahi. And therefore there's another he, because language will become like that. Then some people come and say, why not she? No, why she? You know the word Trayambaka means what? Amba means father, and we said, which means Swami, which means master of the three worlds. But in the vocative case, Amba means Lakshmi, Saraswati. Invoke these three Shaktis, because without which nothing can be achieved. Durga means, without these three, can you gain anything in this world? First of all, you must have motivational force, the passion for it. Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. The power of knowledge, the power of motivation, desire, the power of, or we can say, Jnana Bhakti, knowledge, devotion, and through Kriya. Kriya in our scriptures means Karma Yoga only. Every other action is not befitting for a human being. The fruits, sharing out of gratitude what we have received, this is called Kriya. Through this Kriya, we get freedom from our likes and dislike. Through Bhakti, we get concentration, remembrance of our mind. Then only we are fit for Saraswati or Anam, for Lord. But actually recognizing who is the Lord of the three states, who is the Lord of the three worlds, who is that one seer. Takes place. Then the question is, right? So now, this mantra reveals to us Sugandhim and the evidence, which I've already given, and the evidence also. Now what these two mean, and how through Yajama here, that when we are ready to just this remembrance, this that we can get from the Lord. That will be the final conclusion tomorrow. So I know there's a lot of time, but I've got some announcements to make also. So please remain seated. Tomorrow will be the last day of these discourses. We have one month. As I was speaking in Vrindavan today, our ashram in Vrindavan, that Pujya Gurudev did not start any new religion, did not, like many of these people roaming out there, I created this knowledge, this does not belong in the scriptures, these are all outdated. Foolish are people who will follow. It's like going to a doctor and the doctor says, you are my favorite patient. I'm giving you a medicine I discovered only last night. I have not given it to anybody. Yeah. You'd rather take a medicine which has been tested for 50 years at least with no side effects, is it not? And yet people follow such people. Gurudev had no such ego. He brought the knowledge of the rishis, but his uniqueness was that he could bring that knowledge in a language which cannot communicate that knowledge. But he made the impossible possible to the minds even if the world thought they were not fit for it. So what is Chinmaya mission? It is not some new group. It is the traditional parampara that has been coming down from time immemorial of our great rishis. But each master is a uniqueness of his time. Everybody can take a lot of status. Swami Chinmaya did not take any status to himself. But his greatness was that he brought this knowledge to us in such a way that generations for the next few centuries, maybe millennium, can gain this knowledge. That is his greatness. And that's why his legacy continues and should continue. Otherwise, he was not interested in any organization or even a following. He bound no one. He gave these open air initiations, because if we get private initiations, they would say, my guru, and they would follow. Whoever remained with him were those who received it, were inspired, and knew that everything beautiful in their life was only because of his teachings. And therefore, we continue his legacy, the knowledge for which he dedicated. He not only himself a great teacher, a great spiritual, you could get so uplifted. But he didn't even make you dependent on his presence. He gave that knowledge by which we could transform our lives and transform the world around us. He was not interested in any other thing. But he started schools, village upliftment programs, thousands of villages, hundreds of schools, hundreds of centers around the world. Hospital, medical centers. Where is it that he did not reach out? So that people will gain this knowledge that reveals your infinite nature and oneness with everyone. And you get an opportunity to serve. That's all that he wanted. Took no name, took no following, nothing. And see what he has created. Generally, when a master is gone, afterwards everything fades away. But such visionary masters, such a Yuga Purusha, happens once in centuries, I would say. And we all are blessed to be a part of that. After he used to give this uplifting discourses and make us even glimpse the reality. These are not lectures. Lectures you can hear on the internet. He literally gave us the glimpse of the reality. However, that this knowledge becomes our own, he started the study groups, which were not just singing. All those are good satsangs, wherever you remember the Lord, whether you worship, whether you sing, glorify, they're all meant for that. But where you can come and study the scriptures in depth, understand the working of your mind, introspect, and make it your conviction. Such satsang groups, he called it by modern name called as study groups. And he used to insist that you attend those. Of course, he started also the Sandipni Sadhanala, where all of us, brahmacharis, sannyasis, even grahasthas, learnt Vedanta knowledge, and so that we could go and dedicate our life in the spread of this life-saving knowledge. Wanted nothing from us, took nothing from us, bound us by nothing. Whatever people gave out of their inspiration as their Guru Dakshina, with that he built these mighty institutions for the benefit of us only. And his vision that for your children, he started the Chinmaya International Residential School, conceived of it, but Guruji then built it based on what he thought of. Otherwise, we are losing our children, losing our culture, and the worst is when they lose their mind and you lose your children. So that they would get a cultural. Bal Vihars you all have benefited from. Yuva Kendras, the youth. This is a time where you can make peers, like-minded peers of dynamic youngsters. So our youth group, Yuva Kendra, brought out so much literature. You must probably visit Kedar because I don't see enough here. So much literature at all levels for you to benefit from. To talk of his works, even we've been able to do only from his teachings. Go and see how many CDs are there on various topics. All this was only for our benefit. And this huge worldwide organization with over 350 centers around the world, and with activities everywhere, out of which 54, as you can see the list outside, are in North America itself. So many activities Pujya Gurudev did. And now the latest, and I hope they can show it to you tomorrow. We can show it that university clip. This year, because of our work that Gurudev has done, and the 25 years in our Chinmaya International Foundation, wherein all the lesson courses come from. And if you go on to the website, you have the Foundation Vedanta course, you have the Advanced Vedanta course, the Bhagavad Gita course, as well as to apply this knowledge based on those timeless principles in your family, in your home, in your corporate life also. Students, we created a program according to Gurudev's method of teaching called as Make It Happen. I see a CD-ROM available here at a very subsidized price, or it's available online. In fact, as a family, please get that Make It Happen. And if you really want to know the greatness of Gurudev's life and his work, just last year being his birth centenary, I had an opportunity to inspire many young adults by giving the talks based on his 108 names, and we call it He Did It. And Guruji had pointed out, he did it and so can you. So, such amount of work that is going on. It's a huge Chinmaya family for Seva. And here also, so close by, because of the Seva increasing so much, that you have got almost 3 or 4th coming up. You have these centers come up. This is all for our benefit. And our only aim is, as Gurudev wanted, that you, the community at large, keep on benefiting. Many of you are doing your seva as Balvihar Sevak, Sevikas, Yuva Kendra, Sevak, Sevikas. Even in the center, Gurudev's blessings are with you in abundance. Others can come forward also. I'm told now where Krishna comes, there Shivji comes. So they are making an altar for Shivji also here. So that, and see, incidentally we are speaking on Trayambakam also. Because Shivji is devotee of Krishna, Krishna is devotee of Shivji. Because both are one. Yeah? So, all these programs, they go on. And especially now this university is coming up. This university of Sanskrit studies and bringing Indian knowledge traditions for our modern youngsters to learn, whether in management, whether in commerce, whether in the various sciences. You know our science of Ayurveda, the science of architecture. There's so many sciences and we have lost out on it. To revive this knowledge and bring it into our modern professional life, enriching our family, etc. That is going to be the vision of the university. More we will tell you about it tomorrow. All these visionary projects require, today if you talk thousands, 100,000s mean nothing. Therefore, I have no shame to ask you. Given thousands, given 100,000s. But this university that Gurudev has conceived for the world to bring back Indian knowledge traditions is going to be one of the kind that will not only help the present generations, but generations to come and save the heritage. Vedantic knowledge, the Gurudev saved like Shankaracharya, like Ved Vyasa. But now all the other knowledge systems and this language, Sanskrit language. So along with all the teachings are in English, but modern, departments, there will also be these departments and such faculty we are trying to get. And on this Guru Purnima, the university has already started. I would request each and every one of you, out of your abundance, whether in your Guru Dakshina you give for the center, but those of you who think this university is a great thing, please make your most generous offerings. No compulsory on anybody. You feel like you do it. But if each family can give, and even 500 square, we have to buy the land next week. And we need 50 acres of land, which means 50 crores. Crores means each crore is 10 million rupees, of course. So even if you can give one unit 500 square feet of land, which is $1,700, or multiples of that, those who can give in 100,000, great. Don't tell me you can't. Denahar kahu aur hai, jo bejat din rain. So, those of you who would like to give for the university, and you can go onto the website and see about the university. At the moment, it will be with scholarship only to promote this type of education till we prove that one day how useful each of these members that come from the school. Thus, it requires a lot of input in it from everybody out of their love. So do come forward, and when you draw your checks, below you write university. Otherwise, whatever you want to offer as your Guru Dakshina, please offer it, bring it tomorrow. You'll be given prasad, and this sacred exchange, according to our Rishi tradition, that knowledge is given freely, not because it is cheap, but it is so that we benefited because of the offering of many, and now may others benefit. Be like the three-wheeler. And the three-wheeler, Trayambakam. Incidentally, I tell you, that story came last night to me. So Trayambakam. So wish you all the best and your family. We've chanted Trayambakam, and every day we will chant the Trayambakam for the well-being of your health, your family, and facing all the changes, the problems. So please come on time tomorrow and invite all your friends, and it was the last day. In fact, it was the Maha Ahuti of the Yajna, as you would say. So it's a finale, and the most beautiful section is coming up. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om. My name is Ravi Peri. I am a sevak here at Madhuvan. Swamiji has asked me to give an update on the temple activities. This temple was started on July 19th of last year. So the Krishna idol that we see has been there for exactly 1 year now. And every single day, there is a prayer that goes on. The timings of the temple are about 6:30 to 8:30. The prayer is a very simple prayer. We chant the Vishnu Sahasranama, the Lakshmi Ashtottara Shatanama, and then we do a Shodashopachara Puja, followed by Arati. We also celebrate many Indian festivals, pujas, and things like that. Krishnashtami is coming up, followed by many other programs. In April, we had Ramanavami. So any major festival or puja, we have a huge gathering out here. One aspect that I wanted to bring to the attention of the folks out here is, even though the temple is open every single day, on the weekdays, and even many a times on the weekends, there are very few people that come to participate in any of it. Swamiji had asked me to request you all to make it a consideration to at least one family comes once or twice a year. That way, we'll have a coverage for the puja for the entire year. So please make it a point that you come and benefit from this. We try to keep the puja very simple. If anybody wants to learn how to do that, we're willing to teach that. So that is about the puja. And since we have completed 1 year, not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after, we'll have an inaugural 1-year celebration. And please come and participate in that. Hari Om. Swamiji, anything else? Oh, yeah, now there is a little bit of an announcement for CIF. Hari Om.
Hari Om. I'm Sumedha, and I'm here to give you a short glimpse into Chinmaya International Foundation. Actually, Swamiji just gave us a whole briefing on what Chinmaya Mission is, what the Chinmaya family is, and how Gurudev's vision, which is that of a Satya Sankalpa, is that each facet that Gurudev had envisioned came true in, and we are all part of this. So Chinmaya International Foundation, the place where it is located, that is in Veliyanada, a small town in Kerala is where the house, the maternal home of Adi Shankaracharya ji is located. And it was in the 80s that the opportunity to revive this home was given, and Gurudev took it up and saw to it that it was the home was restored to its original glory. Even now, it is a home which welcomes each of us in the natural glory. And one of the many activities that happens there is the home study courses. Now, in the 70s, when Gurudev was traveling extensively across the world, it was then that he felt a need to provide some kind of a study course material which could reach each and every ardent seeker at their home. And that's when the Duta Yajna was started in the postal format. That is, lessons drafted by Gurudev were presented in postal format, and those who subscribed to them could not just go through the lesson courses, but also Gurudev would himself answer the questions that were and the queries that were placed by the students. Now, now that we are in the age of technology, where not only can we go online and access study material, but we have an eye contact, as in we have the media such as Skype and other such media formats are there available to us, through which we can reach out to a teacher who might be staying away miles away from us. So now, Chinmaya International Foundation, which is the home for research and Sanskrit research and Indology, hosts these courses on webinar basis. That is, Swamiji already gave a briefing on how the courses on Vedanta, that is foundation and advance, plus we have courses on Vedic maths and make it happen, and easy Sanskrit. So all these courses are made available to us in an easily reachable format, and one can just log on to Chinmaya International Foundation's website, chinfo.org, and access these courses. Not just that, we can also enroll to webinar modes where an acharya is available for a group of students, and you can not just listen to the discourses, but also you can ask your questions and clarify your doubts. All you have to do is log on to chinfo.org. The flyers for the course materials is available outside at the bookstall. Do go through them. Also, we have the Chinfo YouTube channel where discourses on Vedanta as well as academic courses which are offered at Chinmaya International Foundation are available for everyone to access. We also have webinars happening in Vedic maths, also on Sanskrit. So do log on to our website and gain more information about these. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everyone. There are food packages outside as dinner today, and we request all of you and welcome all of you tomorrow for Samash Piksha, so everybody will be having dinner together right here in this hall. Thank you, and Hari Om.